Hello, welcome to today's video diary for finding my way with Pi, purpose, intention, and emotion. I am Pi. Yet again, I'm sitting on the couch in my living room because we have a new puppy. There's Cricket. And I feel like I did when my kids were babies, like she finally fell asleep. Nobody wake her up. No, Cricket's been amazing. She's brought our family together in so many different ways, and we're still in the adjustment period. That has been the theme for pretty much every single video diary since we got her, and we've had her for, I guess, about 3 weeks now. But what I wanted to talk about today is what it feels like to be vulnerable with someone you love, that you have a close relationship with. And specifically for me, what I'm thinking about is the relationship that I have with my 16-year-old daughter. If you want to check out the story behind this, check out Poetry by Pi, Healing Mother and Daughter on this channel, and you'll hear the story behind it as well as a poem that I wrote about it. I wrote that one day. It bubbled up inside of me, that poem. And as I write poetry, it just comes out. There's something inside of me and it needs to come out. And I just write and write and write until it's done. And that one came out. And that one also came out with like a short story and introduction. I let it come out 2 days after I wrote it. My daughter and I, she was homesick from school, and we were just the two of us in the kitchen together, and the puppy was with us. And I just felt this overwhelming urge to just cry. And I wanted to hold my daughter and cry. And I realized I needed to share with her what I had learned about myself through her eyes and about our relationship and how I felt about it. Because if I never shared this with her, she may go the rest of her life thinking and assuming that I saw things one way and that I wasn't healing and growing with her. And so I needed to tell her, but it was hard. It was hard because I still feel very tender about it. My heart still feels very tender, and she is still in deep healing herself, going through her own mental health journey right now, as so many teenagers these days do. My daughter is no exception. And, you know, there's so many ways that we could all react as parents when this happens. I was thinking about this morning, and even a year ago, and before that, I think I may have reacted like a panic, like, how do we fix this fast? Like, oh my gosh, how will we have time to handle this on top of everything else? Like, oh my gosh, that negative self-talk of how on earth is this possible? We provide a loving, stable home. It's not like necessarily the kind of broken home that I grew up in, which was not all bad, to be clear. And there were some bad things. So, you know, in the absence of that, I've often felt like, what did I do wrong? That negative self-talk. I've worked so hard to create a stable environment alongside hubby, and I believe that we've successfully done that. And yet, that does not mean that our children will not have struggles. So there was this acceptance piece that I needed to get through as well. And I know it sounds weird because I don't necessarily, I mean, there are parts that I feel like I certainly could have done better, as you'll see if you listen to the poem, Healing Mother and Daughter, but it wasn't like I was an alcoholic drug addict like my father was. So, you know, it was weird in a sense to go through this need to forgive myself for some of the choices that I make, you know, and learning that a little bit of grace goes a long way here, because even though I feel I made a mistake in where I focused my time for a lot of my children's childhood. In one sense, in the other sense, I was doing the best that I could. I was doing what I knew to survive and grow our family, and also what I truly believed was best for our family at the time. And you live and you learn. The fact that I and my husband have been able to provide the home that we have provided for our kids that is loving, even in spite of, the busyness and the work and my focus being on a career, it wasn't absent of love, and it certainly was not like outright abusive like what I grew up with my dad. And I guess what I'm saying to myself is, hey, don't you think a little bit of grace here for doing even incrementally better than my dad did is what we strive for. And, his suffering and his pain that he went through was not wasted, in the sense that I learned to do some things differently. Now, a moment ago, I mentioned that even a year ago, having still been in my corporate leadership role at that time, I don't think I would have had the presence of mind to be able to hear my daughter and heal with her. But this time I did. And I heard her and I understood her, and I shared that with her, and I shared with her what I learned about myself, and I shared with her what my intention was and what I hoped. I shared with her how I felt about all of it. Do you know, it was like that conversation with her, I cried and let her see my vulnerability and my heart wide open and the pain that I feel and what my greatest hopes are. I let her see all of it. And I said, I just wanted to be able to share this with you while I have the chance. I just want you to know. And you don't owe me anything, and there is nothing to fix. It's simply, I just want to share this with you so you know. She focused the entire time and listened all the way through that conversation, and I think it's been years since we've had a conversation where she did not get distracted with something. She really paid attention, and what that told me is that when you speak your truth, when you're approaching someone with kindness and vulnerability instead of blame or frustration or impatience or anger, they listen. Or at least they have a better chance to. And I'm so grateful for the moment that we had together. This journey is just day by day. And we just do the best that we can each day. And my hope for myself, Cricket hears a dog barking. So she's, Cookie, what do you hear? So she woke up. My hope for myself, for the rest of my journey in this life, and my hope for all of my loved ones, is that we can have enough quiet space and reflection and contemplation of what's going on inside, and the courage to share that honestly and openly with people we love. And the understanding that this life is a process that's full of all the ups and downs and the fullness of what being alive means. It's not only about achieving some aim or something or feeling pleasure and happiness all the time. This life is a full experience, the whole thing. And in the midst of the very painful moments, in the midst of the deepest vulnerability you may feel, there may be one of the most beautiful moments you've ever experienced. Like that moment I experienced with my daughter. Thank you for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope it helps you too. And me and Cricket, we will see you tomorrow.